Today on Rating Realtors, we're looking at Carolyn Burnham from American Beauty.
I love this house!
You're in the real estate business.
Putting people in homes, speculating on property.
Indigenous, original dirt floor.
It takes brass balls to sell this thing. As your realtor,
how is the open visit?
I will sell this house today.
Don't need this anymore. Don't need that. Freaking beanies, man. Always mess up my hair. That's for sure. If you're just a fan of cinema in general, you need to watch this movie. American Beauty, I remember when it came out, it was just totally in the cultural zeitgeist. Like, everybody was talking about it. It was parodied like on Family Guy and all kinds of other shows. It was just one of those movies where really good first-time director in Sam Mendes, you have an all-star cast, and you kind of have a really good score as well. The music really kind of brings it oddly to life, even though it's kind of got like this weird tone about death. And obviously one of the characters to be, you know, in that world would be Carolyn Burnham, who's a realtor who's not exactly doing as good as she wants to do. I think she really portrays actually being a realtor fantastically. It's not to say I'm gonna give her 5 stars, but I mean, it really has a lot of screen time. She puts a lot of little nuances into the character. So I'll break it down here, but we're gonna go into 4 different scenes with her. And we'll start out with her coming home and talking about the neighbors.
Well, all right, let's just all sell our souls and work for.
Well, she's driving a Mercedes, so you know she's a realtor.
A bit more dramatic, please, huh? So we finally got new neighbors. You know, if the Lomans had let me represent them instead of the real estate king, the house would never sell on the market for 6 months.
You gotta love the envy, also the competition, losing out to a fellow realtor on her neighbor's house.
Come on, a substantial portion of the root structure was on our property. You know that. How can you call it their sycamore?
I can definitely identify with getting into arguments with your spouse about certain real estate things. Not that we've ever had any property line disputes or anything like that, but it's just so funny, like, those conversations. Yeah, I could tell that she's obviously pissed because the next door neighbors went with a different realtor. They went with the real estate king, who, you know, he's got a little bit of grays just like me, so I guess I'm gonna start calling myself the real estate king. But yeah, let's move on to seeing how she handles an open house. All right, I'm getting ready for it. Got the flags out. I don't see any other signs coming out though, so who knows if they're gonna find this place. There's our old buddy, Buddy Kane, real estate king. It's so cheesy. Oh, I gotta love it.
I will sell this house today.
Got the affirmations, got her flyers out, got her sign-in sheet. The affirmations is like quintessential, like that's a real estate agent. So hard, or a lender, anybody in this industry. Just doing it over and over again. Trying to manifest it or will it, which is like, dude, you can't get away from that stuff. Everyone talks about that in this industry. I will say it's on the day of the open house, like hours beforehand, maybe even less, and she's getting it ready. Like, no good prep there.
This house today.
Definitely ill prepared.
Welcome. I'm Carolyn Burnham. This living room is very dramatic.
None of the lights are on. You want the whole place opened up, all the natural light coming in, all the regular light.
Put in a skylight.
Very hard to imagine when there's actually no light in
Why don't we
there.
go into the kitchen? It's a dream come true for any cook. Just filled with positive energy, huh? And you'll be surprised how much a ceiling fan can cut down on your energy costs.
You know, you could have some
Just really throwing on the salesmanship and puffery there.
The ad said this pool was lagoon-like. There's nothing lagoon-like about it. Except for maybe the bugs. There aren't even any plants out here.
What do you call this? Is this not a plant? If you have a problem with the plants, I can always call my landscape architect. Solved.
I mean, I think lagoon, I think waterfall, I think tropical. This is a cement hole.
Yes, it's a pool.
I have some tiki torches in the garage.
Oh man. And then the come down after an open house where you've been on for like 4 hours, just like constantly talking to people. She had a good turnout. I'm not gonna not gonna knock her for bad turnout. All right, so I'm gonna give her props for definitely like getting at least a turnout to come to the open house. It wasn't the greatest, that's for sure. I don't think that she got it prepped properly. Normally when you host an open house, it's not necessarily something you just do on a whim. I mean, a lot of times there will be people working open houses that maybe aren't as super prepared. They're maybe not the listing agent or whatever, but if you're the listing agent, which she clearly was, you need to spend at least a week and a half getting that thing ready, promoting it, making sure that you have the whole place cleaned. I mean, I know there's situations where that won't happen, but it's a vacant house, so that's gotta take place. It's not staged either, which you don't necessarily need to spend money on staging, but having the house cleaned is part of that. So you make sure you get rid of all the little knickknacks, like the thing that was on the fan. Take all that stuff out, open up the house, make sure the natural light's coming through, that all the regular lights are on. That way people get a really good feel for this fixer, which essentially that looked like it was. What that'll feel like, once it's fixed up at least, because it's still architecture, you still have way that the light comes in, all of that. She did do some upselling, which I appreciated to show the potential on some stuff, but in general, it was kind of a bad open house. Moving on. So this next clip is gonna be of her going to a real estate networking event for her local association. I think it's called the Greater Rockwell Realtor Resources Group, which is GERG as an acronym, so really weird. But yeah, we do have these events. I'm gonna tell you by the turnout, I mean, this was also the 90s, so I think people were a little bit more into like the in-person networking. I think a lot of the networking now, myself included, happens a lot of it online. But, she's at this event, she's here to meet people. It's a very important business function. She's bringing her spouse along. And I will tell you, Mrs. Granger, Mrs. Real Estate Creative, is a boss when it comes to networking. She's just the most friendly person ever. She's great to go to networking events with. Lester, Carolyn's husband, not so much. He's going through something right now, so let's see.
Now listen to me. This is an important business function, as you know.
Very important.
My business is selling an image, and part of my job is to live that image.
All right, honey, do me a favor.
That line right there really sums up the movie in general.
All right.
Sell an image, live up to that image.
Listen, just do me a favor. Act happy tonight.
I am happy, honey.
Oh, that's Buddy.
It's Sandy Cohen from the OC.
Good to see you again.
It's so good to see you too, Catherine.
Carolyn.
Oh, Carolyn, of course. How are you?
We do all forget each other's names, actually, because we only care about ourselves a lot of the time. Not really, but I mean, if you're not forgetting people's names, you might not be networking enough.
This thing last year, or the thing Christmas at the Sheraton. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's okay. I wouldn't remember me either.
Honey, don't be weird.
All right, honey, I won't be weird.
Okay.
I'll be whatever you want me to be.
Well, okay.
Nope. Just throwing it on there. The way that like it's kind of portrayed that everyone's uptight or whatever. If any real estate event you go to, it's probably the least uptight thing you're gonna go to. I mean, just speaking from personal experience, everyone's pretty loose, everyone's pretty chill. There may be drinks flowing, I don't know, but a lot of the times it's more so everyone's just really friendly, really into just meeting each other and figuring out, if they can network, figure out referral business, all of that stuff. So not as dramatic as a lot of it's shown.
I probably wouldn't even tell you this if I weren't a little tipsy, but I'm in complete awe of you.
100%, we all do this.
Firm is hands down the Rolls Royce of local real estate firms.
We just purely compliment each other on business, don't really talk about a lot of other stuff.
It's very intimidating.
Love your marketing.
I'd love
I wish I had your volume.
with you and just pick
Just
your
stuff like that.
brain, if you'd ever be willing.
This is what people do now, but they just invite you on a
I
podcast.
suppose technically I'm the competition, but I mean, hey, I don't flatter myself that I'm even in the same league as you. I don't.
I'd love to.
I love that she's drinking a martini too.
Really?
Absolutely. Call my secretary, have her schedule a lunch.
I'll do that. Thank you.
I don't really have any comment after that. It's just a sweet moment, but it also leads on to infidelity, so not the best. But you know, game on. So this part is her driving in the car. I only have this in here mainly because I love the song that's playing in the background, but also she has some books on tape or things in the seat, which is like so like such a realtor thing to do, is just to listen to motivational stuff, podcasts, all of that. Like, I have yet to go to a realtor's car where all they're listening to music. Most of the time they are listening to something where it's like continuing education, but kind of, you know, more on a just like casual level. But when you go in between appointments and all of that, that's what you're doing. So let's rush it out.
Don't tell me not to fly, I've simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Don't bring around the cloud to rain on my parade.
Real fun fact is the names that are on those, not real motivational speakers or people. It's all people like producers and stuff on the movie. Yes, I paused it and I looked, like zoomed in on it.
At least I didn't fake it, so what?
I think she would be singing way louder too if she actually had a sale. I don't think she's had a sale yet in the movie. She's obviously been getting too friendly with Buddy Kane, so that's what she's super pumped about. And then her day is about to change. Rain on my parade. You gotta love the midlife crisis sports car in the driveway when she gets home. At the end of the day, Carolyn works really hard. She has a ton of screen time in this movie. I do enjoy the complexity of her character. She's really trying to, like, at first it's a facade, but then you kind of see her, like, you know, things are churning, she's trying to figure stuff out, reconcile things that are going on at home, going on with her extracurricular stuff as well. But she's still very much in tune with her business, just sticking with it, which is fantastic. If somebody's gonna be a business operator or an entrepreneur, they need to be full throttle on it, which for the most part, she is doing that. And I could see that she has some stewardship with what she wants to do with the business and taking care of clients. I don't think she's quite all the way to where she should be. Obviously, life happens and all these other things are going on. You know, normally I probably wouldn't talk about it because the movie deals with it, that's obviously something to be considered. I would say I'd probably give her, I think if she's firing on all cylinders and it's a good day, she's got a good amount of listings or whatever, or clients that she's working with, I think she's firing, I think she's hitting it really well. She'd probably be a 4.5. We'll give her a 4 stars. I'd only give her the demerit because she'd probably drop the ball in some customer service stuff, may not communicate as well. But yeah, that's Carolyn Burnham from American Beauty. Hope you enjoyed.